Hey everyone, I'm Kate Kennedy and I'm here with day 99 of 100 Days of Kane, PA. And with the homecoming football game tonight, I thought it would only be appropriate to talk with Athletic Director Jason Varner. Mr. Varner is not from Kane, but he's definitely invested his heart here as a teacher and as a coach. And so today we're going to hear some stories from him. I'm going to go ahead and flip you around and we'll go on in and say hello. Hey, Mr. Varner.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing
Doing
today?
great.
Hey, thank you so much for having us here. I'm looking forward to talking to you and hearing your stories. So can you go ahead and start by letting us know where you grew up?
Yeah, I grew up down the road in Sheffield, Pennsylvania. I lived there for the first, 25 years of my life before we made the decision to move to Kane.
All right. Okay, so you grew up in Sheffield, and then what year did you graduate?
I graduated Sheffield High School in 1990.
Okay, and what happened next?
After that, I graduated and had the aspiration of going to college to play baseball. So I went to Clarion University with the hopes of doing that, but was in love and decided that I just wanted to focus on my studies and staying in love, I guess. But I went to Clarion University and majored in secondary education, earth and space science, general science, and environmental science.
All right, so who were you in love with?
I was in love with a girl at the time named Michelle Newfer, who is now Michelle Varner. We were actually high school sweethearts. We dated all through high school. We went to college together, and then obviously we're still together right now.
All right, and so you graduated from college, and how did you end up in Kane?
Actually, after I graduated, I interviewed different places. I interviewed a few spots in Warren, and my sister was actually teaching at the Kane Middle School, and she was at a long-term sub job, and a job was coming open at the high school, who, by rights, my sister probably could have had that job. And she, at the time, knew I was engaged, and she's a fantastic sister. She's almost too caring, if that can be a thing. But she told me, why don't you apply for it? It'd be better if you get the job. You're getting married. I actually was getting married May 31st. And she said, I think you should put your name in. I won't apply. I think you need a job because you're getting married and starting your life that way. So long story short, I am very indebted to her for that. She did not interview. I did interview, and I was lucky enough to be interviewed and land a job here in Kane. But luckily for my sister, that same year, she actually landed a job at Fretz Middle School in Bradford. So we were both teaching at the same time.
Well, that is an awesome story, and what a good heart your sister has to allow you that opportunity. And how lucky for us in Kane that you were able to start your career here and that you're still here today.
Yeah, I'm blessed to be here, that's for sure.
What was the first classes that you taught?
First class I taught it would have been the fall of 1995. I was teaching Physical Science 1, Physical Science 2. Those are my main courses that I taught. And as I mentioned, I was science on a cart. I was going from room to room, sharing rooms with Mr. Kepler and Mrs. Cicchetti and room 111, which is now, it was a study hall room at the time at the high school. But yeah, it was pretty hard to do that at first. I had all my science supplies on carts trying to figure out labs, and it took a lot of planning, but I had a lot of good teachers to help me along the way and help me show me the way how to do it the proper way.
So you, as the new guy, had to you didn't have your own space yet. You had to go with your science supplies room to room, and upstairs and downstairs,
That's
right?
correct. Yeah, I shared a room with Mr. Kepler and I. Actually, he was teaching biology at the time. He and I shared a room, and then Mr. Boyer and I taught some classes in his room. Then upstairs, Mrs. Gicchetti's room. The Spanish room was also created into a science classroom. So I was teaching science in 3 different rooms, and sometimes Mrs. Perry's room, which was the chemistry room. So I was everywhere. I was all over the place. But it was good, though. I knew the lay of the school pretty well. So yeah, but it worked out fine. It all ended well.
What are some of the memories you have or things that you appreciate about teaching in Kane?
I mean, we've been blessed with great students here. We have kids that are very conscientious. We have families that are very involved in the students' lives, which makes our job easier. I've also been fortunate to work with some fantastic administrators and fantastic teachers along my side as colleagues. People like Carl Lewis, I've mentioned Jim Siriani, these people, Tom Cicchetti. These are top shelf people that not only teach you how to teach, but teach you how to care about kids, which is why we're there. And hopefully I'll be remembered for that. You know what I mean? That's what I learned from them. And I can name a lot more teachers, obviously, because the list goes on and on, because I think all teachers in Kane have that general concern and caring, loving spirit for kids and sharing our knowledge about whatever it is that we're certified in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you guys all do that very well. And some of the teachers that you mentioned just bring back some great memories for me, and I'm sure for others listening. But in addition to teaching and giving to students that way, you also have been a coach most of your time in Kane, all of your time.
Yeah, for sure. My first year, I started coaching track and field with Coach Siriani and Coach Cicchetti, and you couldn't learn from 2 better guys than that. They were top of the line, very organized, showed me exactly how it is to be successful. But I started coaching track, and then I ended up coaching that for around 9 years. I coached football for 16 years, I believe it was, and then I helped coach softball. I think it was for 7 or 8 years, I believe, on the inception of that program. So yeah, I put a lot of years in, and now I've been the AD for 2 years and the assistant for 6. So I love Cane athletics, everything about it. I love the opportunities our kids have to compete and to learn and to grow as student athletes. I think it's a lifelong lessons they're able to get, and I'm just blessed to be a part of that.
One of the things that I love about Kane is the community involvement in student sports. Have you noticed that?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, since I've been here, the town is super supportive, from the booster groups to just like the evenings you go out and you have the parades and you have all the events that are going on. You can't get any more than we get here. People are super supportive, and the windows uptown are all decorated, and just I love it. The atmosphere. Everyone wears Cane Wolves gear. It's just a great atmosphere. It's a great town to be from. I'm very proud to be from here. But yeah, the town is awesome for sure.
One question I have from you as a non-Kane native who's been immersed in the school and sports culture, do you know the alma mater?
I do. I sing it every time.
Okay, good.
I do. Yeah, I do.
I won't ask you to sing it on here, but it's good to know.
I can't sing. That's good. I kind of just hum it more than anything here. But no, I do know all the words, and like I said, it means a lot to me. And my kids obviously go here. This is their hometown. And I only grew up literally 11 minutes from where we're sitting right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I'm that far away from being from here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories or memorable moments about coaching?
I have tons. As we're in what I would call my man cave right now. And some of the pictures behind me are some of the things that I'll cherish forever. But these are some of the teams and kids that I was able to be a part of with. Where you're at right now is the 2007 team. That team went 14-1, was one game away from playing for a state championship. Just a phenomenal group of kids and a phenomenal group of coaches that I had on staff. But those kids, they're just phenomenal kids. And, all the years that I coached, the memories are very, very, they're just awesome. I mean, I was blessed. Great kids, great experiences.
Here's you as a coach.
Yeah.
Coaching face on right there.
Yeah, a few years ago. But yeah, I mean, I've been blessed. I've been able to coach the Big 30 game. I've been able to coach in the East-West game. It's a big all-star game. So through coaching, I was able to, to have a lot of opportunities. But the 2007 year obviously sticks out in my mind the most because of the number of wins we had, but also the town was just electric that year. I mean, it was incredible. We were playing football up until 2 weeks before Christmas, which is,
Wow.
15 football games is a lot.
That is a lot.
And then 2 scrimmages on top of that. So you're talking about 17 weeks that we were, competing. So, but that year, there was a lot of good kids. And what I'm most proud of is the football end of it is awesome, but I can look through that picture that we looked at and the success that those kids are having right now in their lives as fathers, as employees, as brothers, whatever it may be. Those kids are all great kids, and that's what does my heart the best.
So you've coached a couple different sports, but it sounds like football was the one that you stuck with the longest.
Yeah, football was it.
Did you play?
I actually did not. I have a congenital heart defect that I played flag football in Sheffield in the Warren County youth system up until 7th grade. Then I wasn't allowed to play anymore due to my congenital heart defect.
So was there something about coaching that was extra special to you for that?
Yeah, it was. I became a student of the game. My dad was a phenomenal player back in his day. So I'm sure it broke his heart a little bit that I couldn't play, but he understood that, God had a bigger plan and there was more to it. So I took to the coaching end of things as became a student of it. And I wanted to learn as much as I could. Went to numerous clinics, read lots of books, still read lots of books. I'm still online. The only social media I do is Twitter. I know I'm old, but the only thing I do is Twitter, and I follow mostly football things. So I still try to keep up to date on what people are doing and the philosophies and the theories and the policies, because hopefully someday I'll get back in it.
So what was your last year coaching football?
It would have been 2000. Boy, that's a tough one. I want to say 2011. I've been Josh Kibbe and Mikey Swartwood's senior year. I can remember that.
Okay.
I think that was 2011. I might be wrong on that, but that sounds pretty close.
Around there.
Yeah.
It's safe to say.
I hate to think about it because I hate to be done, but at the time, my kids were growing up and I was missing so many things that my kids were doing that I felt the obligation to be their dad and be their supporter and their coach.
So you have kids and you've coached and been involved. Have they gotten involved even as young kids in athletics, and how has that relationship with athletes been?
Both of my kids have been involved in athletics ever since we moved to Kane. My daughter's done pretty much everything you can do in Kane, from soccer to volleyball to softball to track and field to basketball. She did it all. She had a very good high school career, and she did a lot of great things, and she had a lot of good experiences all the way through. And my son right now is currently in high school, and he's also involved in things. He golfs and he wrestles and he plays baseball, shoots trap, tries to fit that in. He was lucky enough last summer to play on the Little League team that won the district, sectional, state, and regional titles, and went on to Little League World Series. So just phenomenal experiences that my kids have been able to have and experience. And luckily I've been able to experience that with them.
And it looks like you are a hunting family. If I can look around this room,
yeah,
I see a lot of trophies.
Yeah, that's part of what we do. I mean, I was raised that way. My kids are raised that way. My daughter does not hunt, but my son and I are fanatical about it to a point where my wife just shakes her head. But yeah, it's a passion. That's why I grew up. That's why I was taught from my dad, and to respect and love the land, and that's why I teach the science that I do. And this is all part of learning, loving the environment. And these turkeys all came from this area. So these are all from
wow.
the
And there's
area.
some big ones.
Yeah,
there's some nice looking
sure.
horns, or
Yeah.
is that what you call them?
Antlers, yeah. Horns is good.
Antlers,
yeah.
yes, that's what I
right.
meant. I knew it didn't sound right. All right. Well, hey, this has been really awesome to talk to you. Is there we kind of touched on this, but is there anything else you want to say about why you love Kane?
I love Kane for a lot of reasons. My wife and I made the decision to move here 12 years ago. We bought our house. The community here is phenomenal. People have been super supportive of myself and my family in general. They rally up here, which is awesome. And Sheffield does too, where I grew up at. But Kane is just, they've embraced us. I've been through some trials and tribulations in my life, through the passing of my parents, having open heart surgery 4 years ago. And I come home and all my firewood's cut and stacked. My yard is mowed. You just can't beat that. People are phenomenal. And you go uptown and people are congratulating you on my son doing stuff, and my daughter when she was doing stuff, and they're always asking. And my daughter was able to leave Kane High School, and she had a whole semester done of college. And when she left here, and she's graduating a year ahead in college, those are opportunities that she was afforded here in town. And so, I mean, it's a great, great community. We're blessed. I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to be a part of it. And I know everybody else appreciates it as much as I do, for sure.
Yeah, it's a small town, so you get that connection that is really lost in a lot of places these days, but we still have those neighbors caring for neighbors and looking out for each other.
Absolutely.
And we have the opportunities, like you're saying, to advance in education and some of these great opportunities that are afforded to the kids as well.
Yep, and the things that you guys are doing uptown is just, it's hats off to all of you, because going uptown, it's special right now. There's a lot going on, there's a lot happening, and people are excited, and I love it.
Me too.
It just makes me excited.
Awesome. Well, hey, is there anything else that you'd like to share before we go?
I just thank you for doing this. I think this whole activity you're doing, 100 Days of Kane, is phenomenal, and it's great to watch. It's great to see it. I'm just happy to be, and I'm humble to be a part of it. So
Day 99.
Day 99.
Well, one more thing I guess I just thought of.
Okay.
So it's the homecoming football game. Any words of advice as the athletic director?
No, I just, it's going to be a great game. The kids are, it's 5-0 and 5-0. You have two quality football teams. It's going to be an exciting night. The weather is awesome today, and so let's go play football. Let's kick it off.
All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you sharing your stories.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm ready for football. It was great to hear the stories of the heart of a teacher, just someone who really truly gives, not just to teach the content, but also to invest in the lives of the students that he teaches and coaches. Who are some teachers that have made a difference in your life? I'd love to hear from you below. And again, homecoming football tonight. Let's go Wolves. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you again tomorrow for day 100.